Oh, hello there, yo podhead. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, and there's a lot of news that I missed, so we are just not gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna kind of rebrand the show just a little bit. We're supposed to be like trying to be a weekly news recap with some opinions. I'm just gonna give opinions on gaming and nerdy shit that I want to give opinions about, and of recent events, of course. But it's gonna be, I'm just gonna talk about video games on a semi-regular basis whenever I feel like I should, and then I hope you are entertained. So let's crack open a Dr. Pepper. Not sponsored. Hashtag please sponsor me. And this episode is going to be totally off the raft. We're just starting the new year fresh. And hopefully we're going to go back to this on a regular basis. And I'll still be uploading my Twitch crap and whatever. But here is my semi-edited opinions, because I have to edit this afterwards, obviously. And if you want to just talk to me and bullshit around, come to the Twitch channel, and I'll be playing video games. All links and crap down below, and whatever. YouTube, self-promotion bullshit. So let's start off with talking about award shows. So obviously, a few weeks ago, the video game awards happened right before I moved into this place, and I have the same feeling about the video game awards as I do any other awards show, and that opinion is that award shows are bullshit. The only, you gotta know, the only reason people watch is for the premieres, right? Right? Like, who actually is like clamoring at the screen, like, who's gonna fucking win Family Game? Like, no, most people are not gonna do that. The only time people do that is that they like to use that to weaponize their arguments about their opinions on which game is better. It's like, yeah, well, God of War isn't as good as Elden Ring because it didn't win the Game of the Year. Like, who the fuck gives a shit if one game we're at this one award show that is, voted by the people, but then 30 executives like choose which one that actually wins. Like, it's a good time, it's fun, but only because of the premieres and like the live show like thing. But award shows are bullshit. Also, Sonic Frontiers got shafted by not even being considered under best soundtrack. How do you not listen to the Sonic Frontiers soundtrack, especially the boss themes, and be like, nah? Like, congratulations to, those who like won stuff, and like being able to just be recognized in the industry for what you do and all the hard work you put in. Like, good. Like, some of these games, deserve to be shown off. And then you have Genshin, who shouldn't even been thought of being there, but. And the fact that the same 5 games get nominated for like 75% of things, and the only reason why they don't get nominated for other things because M-rated games aren't family games, and also like AAA games aren't indie games. So there goes those 2 categories right there. And also, a game isn't a creator, so there goes that category. But anything that has anything involvement with a AAA game, the same few games are gonna be brought up is the words I meant to say, with some interchanging here and there, but most of the time it's just the same few games that get nominated for whatever. Also, just because it's Nintendo doesn't mean it's necessarily a family game. I've never gone to my family and been like, hey, let's play Splatoon 3, the exclusively multiplayer game that has a single player option but no local multiplayer. Yeah, that's what I think of a family game. Not, I don't know, Mario Party. I feel like, anything with local multiplayer that isn't M-rated should be on that list. Which I know a lot of those don't happen, so the Game Awards is like, I mean, Kirby. Single-player games aren't family games. unless their definition is just different than mine. I mean, probably. But I feel like a family game is a game that you hang out with the family, not really a game that you just hang out by yourself and play. It's not really entertaining to watch one person play. It's more entertaining to be involved. Like Jackbox Party Pack is more of a family game than Kirby. But yeah, that's the moral of the story, is that award shows are bullshit, and the only thing that makes the Game Awards worthwhile is the premieres, and half of the stuff being cringe, because we're dealing with gamers and game programmers. Not all of them are charismatic. Some of them are, and that's awesome. And I'm not shaming the ones who aren't, because that's not your fucking job, and I get it. Then just keep it short and sweet if you're not. I mean, that's what I would do. Except the opposite of what I'm doing now is elongating it, because I can't stop talking. Also, like, up your security next year. Who the hell fucking let a kid on stage to talk about Bill Clinton? I didn't know this was Retro Prey 2007. Talk about Bill Clinton gaming and shit. Like, how did anybody, like, not catch that? Like, anybody on stage, like, who knew who was supposed to be up there, be like, Stop the saves off around here. I guess he could be up. Oh, no. Oh, he's saying some shit. Oh. So, yeah, definitely, keep track of, I don't know, ID check or something? I don't fucking know. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Just do it. Like, there's a lot of cool games coming out. There's some that don't interest me at all. Like, who the hell thought it was a good idea to have a Death Stranding 2? Gross. But otherwise, Sonic Frontiers is a good game. Okay, listen, Sega. Come closer. Come closer. Right, no, too close. Get back. Or right there. Sega. Sonic is your mascot. Fucking act like it. The fact that Sonic Frontiers is such a good, amazing game that had 25% of its content dumbed down because Sega did not want to fund Sonic is aggravating. It's such a good start to being back to being good, where the story is actually deep and like there's actual consequences, and the dialogue isn't from a shitty Saturday morning cartoon. But then you get to the fourth island and the story kind of falls apart in like a dumb way. Like, yeah, you get the ending, you get what they were going for, and I could appreciate for what it is. I wasn't disappointed, but also I was. I still had a fantastic time, and I'm able to look past anything bad to kind of get myself into the story to like enjoy myself, especially when so much of the game was good. But that ending deserved better. It really did. I'm sure there's a better boss fight for the end opposed to a shmup, which again I was fine with because I could let my imagination go, but it could have been better. And then expanding on the corruption, like that didn't get anywhere. Which again, I felt like that ending was supposed to be more, and then they got shafted by time and budget, where like, we have to wrap up the storyline quick so that we could at least have a finished product. And they did what they had to do, and I commend them for it. And I just, Sega, I want you so bad to put so much money into Sonic. Sonic's popular around the world. I know it's not the best Japanese selling, but it sells around the world. When people think Sega, they think Sonic. That is just a guaranteed, like, for most people. Like, you're dumping money into Yakuza. Sonic Frontiers is such a good game, and I'm going to be replaying it. And I'm so glad that the game did so well that they are giving us free updates. But the next game needs to have a better budget. They had such a good thing going, and the direction is fantastic, and having this open zone level design is... Sonic's made for that. Sonic is 100% made for that. Like, fan games have been doing that for fucking years. And now it's official. Like, yeah, I gotta polish some stuff here and there, but... Like, that's the direction for Sonic. Like, Sonic is made for that. Just like how Zelda was basically made for that. Because the first Zelda game is more open world than most of other Zelda games. But let's talk about the last subject now that it's on my mind that happened, like, earlier this year. What the hell happened? I'm just gonna talk about how fucking stupid the just general population is. A few years ago, Nintendo released a teaser trailer and said, Breath of the Wild, or the sequel to the Breath of the Wild, is in development. Cool. People start calling it Breath of the Wild 2 because they're fucking lazy. And then people just start thinking, oh, this is going to be the sequel. This is going to be called Breath of the Wild 2. Most of the actual, like, people with brains thought, where's going to be the real subtitle? And then we get a trailer. We get a trailer in the same art style, same world. And it's like, this is the sequel to the Breath of the Wild. This is it. Like, 100%. And then they drop the subtitle. Tears of the Kingdom. Fantastic. Has so much weight to it. Has a double meaning. And then people were like, okay, yeah, but where's Breath of the Wild 2? Is Tears of the Kingdom going to be a different game than Breath of the Wild 2? Oh, remember the one time that they started teasing Breath of the Wild 2 and then they just dropped a totally new Zelda game? Are you fucking stupid? Like, how are you breathing? Like, how has your body not given up on your system that you cannot process that, oh, this is a subtitle for the sequel to Breath of the Wild 2? Like, somehow people Mandela affect themselves because of pure laziness, saying, well, they call it Breath of the Wild 2. Nintendo never fucking said Breath of the Wild 2, you fucking Neanderthal. Like, it baffles me just how just autopilot people are who don't even take a half a second to think. Like, hey, this is literally everything about this screams Breath of the Wild sequel. New subtitle, I don't believe it. What's this new, all of a sudden, completely new game that is not the sequel to Breath of the Wild 2? What the fuck? Like, I don't get it. And I know, like, it has to be just a loud minority. For my own sanity, for the human race, I really hope it was just a loud minority of idiots who were like this, right? Like, most people, like, silently stayed back, like, I like that. Alright, off to work. Or whatever the fuck you people do. I'm getting an aneurysm fucking rethinking about it. Anyway, I'm excited for Tears of the Kingdom. And you're Zelda fans. Like, it's a series based off of puzzles and, like, expansive lore. And you couldn't fucking connect the puzzle of subtitle equals new game, like, is the sequel? Like, you couldn't figure that one out? You couldn't figure out a simple fucking word matching game that you play in first grade? Are you serious? Anyway, I'm going to leave off this episode with one message about, like, a thing that has been a big thing. A message to those that are chronically online. Because this kind of situation has happened multiple times, and while we are now getting things fixed because of these situations, all I have to say, and then I'm gonna probably say more about it, is don't believe what people say on the internet. People have been saying this since the 90s, but cancel culture has gone out of control. Get the full story before you start making accusations. Anybody could say anything on the internet and people will believe them. Most recent is Helena Taylor making claims about how Bayonetta and Platinum Games treated the process of her voice acting. And she completely lied about it, but before people realized that, people believed her. I was one of the first to not believe her. I was like, I mean, if this is true, it's pretty shitty, but we need to hear the other side, because something seems fishy. And I think the video itself just screamed entitled and pissed off. Like, nobody could be Bayonetta but me. And, like, just shitting on Jennifer, and then saying that, you know, to boycott the game, because fuck everybody else who worked on the game. And, you know, them being the studio anymore, and being able to create more games. Nah, fuck them. You, the one voice actress who nobody else in the goddamn game complained, but you, the one person, you're bitching, so the entire game has to fail, huh? And that has happened so many times. People get falsely accused. You got Jared, even though Jared's kind of a douche, doesn't mean he wasn't falsely accused of anything. Zero, and or going to, you know, outside of nerdy shit, you got the Johnny Depp trial, like. Stop believing people at a drop of a hat. Just fucking let the story, like, grow and get other sides before starting to, you know, throw your pitchforks. Like, fucking do better, douche. Anyway, that's my message to leave off to you for the new year is get both sides of the story. And then find the middle ground. And also, don't care about what award shows say. Play what you want to play. Like, gives a fuck. Anyway, if you like this, go ahead and give a like and possibly subscribe. If you want to catch me on other places, all my things are down below. I do try to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week. At least 3 times a week. Getting into that more and more and more. I have other content and projects that are going on that I will update the description for when things pop up and appear, like my band with me and my fiance, and also her channel that she's going to be starting. And yeah, till next time. Bye.